And we're back. What's going on, folks? It's me, Patrick Gnarly. If you're watching this after the live stream, like the live. Comment something below. Let me know if you got questions. Let me know if you want to get some advice about guitar. Almost dropped. About guitar music streaming. Let me know. Yeah. So I'll try my best to answer it on the show. So let me know. All right. And sorry I'm a little late. Yeah, we were. I say we for me sometimes. I don't know why I do that. I was opening up some packages because we got more guitars to smash tonight. Yeah! Woo! Very happy about that. Yeah, what's going on? We got Lidl, we got Chaw. What's up, bud? Let's see here. All right, well then maybe you should. Yeah, I love it when you guys do that. It's very weird how that happens. You guys are like, I can't be here for long. It's like, dude, you don't have to say that. You don't have to tell me anything like that. You can just show up and then leave. Most people do that. It's a live stream, so you guys can just show up and leave if you want to. No problem. You don't have to tell me, hey man, I'm leaving. You just whoosh, flying out of here whenever you want. The only person that I think that they don't have to, but it would help, is anytime the mods say something. If the mods say, hey man, I gotta go for a second, but so and so is here, then it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, but if anytime somebody says, hey, there's no mods in the chat, it's like, oh, that's you don't want to say that. You don't want to let me know that, man. Because then that lets everybody know they can be crazy. You know what I mean? So if that helps. But, dude, I cannot believe. Who was here for the show yesterday? Was anybody here for the show yesterday? If you're new here, tap that screen. Let me know. Guitar, music, streaming questions. I'll answer them as best as I can. I've been playing music for 20 years. Been doing it professionally now for 2, if you can believe that. So, what do we got here? Somebody's saying some Russian stuff who doesn't know how to read the show. All right, sorry, man. No music requests. We're kind of hanging out. Lidl says, I was here. Dude, what a crazy show on the main channel. One of the most successful shows we've ever had. Unbelievable. I felt so encouraged by that show because we smashed, how many guitars? We smashed 2 guitars, which isn't unusual. But people just kept donating. People kept requesting songs. It was amazing. So what happened is we made enough money to where I was like, okay, I think I can take a couple days off the show, which I'm not going to do yet. But I'm going to be able to record the album a little faster. So, yeah, very happy about that. No, we smashed 4 guitars in one night. The record, I think, now is 4. If we can go over 4. How many times am I going to have 4 guitars ready to smash in one night? I don't know. But it was pretty nice. It's pretty nice. But yeah, very, very happy to have that happen. So I was recording some music earlier today and yesterday and the day before that, and I was like really sitting down and making sure. So Lidl says, remember the show you smashed 3? Oh, yeah, the flu game. The flu show where I got sick and I had to stop streaming for a couple days after that. That was pretty funny. So, yeah, but the new record is coming along, so I'm very happy about that. But as far as tonight goes, we're going to do another special show. We're going to do another special show on the main channel where we got a guitar. We're going to smash a couple of them. And then hopefully I can get another guitar for the show to play, not just to smash. And that'll be exciting. So I'll be able to get another acoustic because, like, my main acoustic is 20 years old, so it's had better days, so I need to get that repaired. I got another guitar over here I need to get repaired, my white Strat, the Strato Bastard. And then I have my Les Paul Custom I got to get refretted. So that's going to be crazy. So, everyone's getting sick. Zoe says I just got over a cold. Dude, Chaw's sick apparently right now. So, yeah. Isn't that wild? Everybody's getting sick. But let me know if you guys got questions about guitar, music, streaming. I'm just going to keep talking about whatever I want to talk about. But as far as the show goes, things are going very, very good. Thank you to all the people who sent donations. Special thank you to we had David Chips. We had Melodramatic who sent a huge donation. Amazing. Amazing donation. We had what was it? We had so many people at the show last night just helping out. Just amazing. Because I'll tell you guys this. Sometimes only one person sends donations, and I always feel so terrible for them. I'm like, oh, I mean, I know they want to have fun, and they're having fun, but anytime somebody just decides they're going to take over the show and just do the only one donating and stuff, I always feel really bad because it's like, if they stop, everyone's going to expect them to keep going. So it's like, oh, it's not fun. Blake says, oh, yeah, are we smashing it immediately? I said as soon as Melodramatic showed up, and it doesn't look like he's going to be here for a little bit of time. But I do have a guitar to smash on the show. I think we were going to start it at $50. I can't remember what I said, but all I know is an insane show. So maybe what I'll do is I'll set a timer. Maybe, I'll be like, or maybe if we get a certain amount of subscribers, maybe that's the move so that it's free. Maybe that's the move. Maybe if we get 30,000 subscribers, I'll just do a free guitar to smash. Or who knows? We'll see what we can do. But I'm still thinking about it. Lidl says, hey, Pat, I've been writing and recording music, but I always get stuck with the vocal melody and lyrics. Any tips on that? I think everybody's got their own kind of formula, their own kind of perspective on how to write a vocal melody and lyrics. For example, my friend Brian Weiner, when I was in high school, he was my brother's guitar player for his band, Beginner's Luck. And he used to do this thing he talked about where he would just he would sit around and he would play the vocal or the guitar part. So like, for example, if I'll set this to something really just a boring kind of. Let's play something better, actually. Hold on. Something familiar. So if you think about just writing something and you just kind of sing about what you see. Don't care about what you're saying. You could even mumble if you want to. That's what I like to do. I just like to mumble. But if I play something and you just look around. I got Star Wars posters on my walls. You know what I mean? You just don't have to think about it. I got a computer screen above my screen. That didn't even make sense. I'm playing guitar on the internet. You got that da 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 da. That's the melody. So if you want to change that to whatever you want it to say, you could do that. But the important part is you just kind of go until you hear something good. Not you're trying to make it sound good. Does that make sense? You will hear your own discovery with it. I always say that I don't write music. I discover music, essentially. I mean, I write it, but I'm discovering it along with you guys. So if you don't sit down and go, well, I'm going to play in the key of E, and I'm going to have an ascending blah, blah, blah. You don't have to do that. Or at least I don't have to do that. So I just kind of pick your riff, and then just da 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 da. You know what I mean? Da 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 da. Then you can come up with your vocal melody. And then what I like to do is I just kind of write lyrics that fit those little spots. Does that make sense? I just kind of sing it, and then I change the lyrics to it. So, for example, what was it? Lidl, what was some lyrics you were writing? You got any lyrics you want to write? Anything you want to type in the chat? Chaw says that sounds like Red Hot Chili Peppers. Does it? I don't think it sounds like Chili Peppers, but Zoe says I steal chords from songs I like, then I mumble sing until something sticks. I mean, you're allowed to do that. There was a kid I kind of criticized not that long ago. He had a song where he played, I'm not even kidding, he played this. Which is obviously drain you. But what he did was he changed the vocal line. He went, family's dead, bake bread when your family's dread. Na 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 Na, 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 na. So it was like that. But everybody was like, that's just Drain You. Like, you're just copying Drain You. So the part that I like to talk about with writing music is that you're going to probably play something similar to somebody else, whether you mean to or not. There's only so many notes that sound good together, and there's only so many rhythm patterns people like. Does anybody know? Hold on, I'll play something real quick. I know I'm not supposed to play music, but beats aren't that big of a deal. Actually, I could just probably hum it. I can just say it. Does anybody know the drum and bass? The drum and bass beat? Because if you listen to a lot of electronic music, you hear this pooch, 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 pooch. That's like in so many songs. And then there's like reggaeton, which has this boom, cha 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 boom, cha. The reason that like beats are not able to be copyrighted and like protected is because they're too generic. There's so many songs that have like the 4/4 time. Here, I'll pull it up. I'll pull up a 4/4 time. Actually, I'll just make one. I got a drum machine here. Let's do something. I'll pull it up. Superior. Yeah, I'll just make a drum beat. Where are we at? Plug in. Oh, do I not have it on this computer? Oh, I don't have it on this computer. Whoops. I forgot. Well, never mind. I forgot. I got a different computer. But essentially what I'm trying to say is that you're going to write something that's similar to something else, whether you mean to or not. And if you play drums, you're already aware that a lot of people use other people's fills and things like that. And when you make a new song, you have to acknowledge that, okay, this sounds like something else. And you want to make it sure that you're not making it so similar that people go, hey, that's just this. Like, for example, when people played Smells Like Teen Spirit, they got that. But if you also play that in a different way, it does sound similar to another song called More Than a Feeling, right, from Boston. It's similar. It's not the same, but it's similar to where people went, oh, you're ripping them off, kind of. And they're like, no, they're not really that similar. And we've talked about that many, many times, but you're allowed to make something similar to another band. It's not illegal to make something similar. It is illegal when you take lyrics, especially a lot of them or most of them. It is illegal when you take the melody. That's an important thing. So the less rhythmic, the more obvious it is. Like, for example, I'm trying to think of a groove that you couldn't take without people going, wait a second. You can't do that. Like if you took the dun 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 dun. Like if you did that, people would be like, whoa, 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 what are you doing? So yeah, you have to be careful with how you do that because obviously people write stuff that's similar to their favorite bands. Look at the punk rock movement. Look at rock and roll in general, or blues. Almost every blues song has that. And then you have like rock. They all kind of ripped each other off, but it's like, how similar is it? You know what I mean? Like, think about all those old rock and roll, like original rock and roll, classic rock and roll stuff. They're all very similar songs. They're all very similar, but it just depends how well did you do. Did you change it to this? Did you change it to that? Chaw says that's why Weird Al Yankovic asks permission to parody songs. Actually, no. Parodies are different. Those are like basically just copies. He has to get permission from the record label. He doesn't have to talk to the artist. He has to talk to the record label. And technically those are covers. Even though he changes the lyrics and they're like slightly different. If he had done that without talking to the record label, it's a bit of a fiasco. Especially when they have the similar title and stuff like that. Now, parody artwork, that's a whole different story. But yeah, I don't want to get into that. But yeah, when you make a parody song and it's like the same song, you kind of do have to have some sort of legal protection from that. You obviously can make parodies in some ways, but yeah, you be careful. Yeah, you have to be definitely very careful. Yeah. Carlos says that's why Billy Corgan, everyone stole his riffs. What? Billy Corgan stole riffs or people stole Billy Corgan's riffs? Well, anyways, point I'm trying to make here is go ahead, have fun, like writing songs that are similar to other songs, but do be careful because people will notice. And if you don't make it different enough, then it's like, all right. Yeah, so Chaw says, I know, but he also asks the artist. That's literally just said that. What's funny, too, is Amish Paradise was a cover. Gangster's Paradise, that was already a cover. So, yeah, the sample, that's from another song. I think it's from Stevie Wonder. Or was it yeah, Pastime Paradise. Yeah, look up Stevie Wonder's Pastime Paradise. Yeah, look it up. It's the same song. Look it up, dude. You're going to be like, whoa! But Gangster's Paradise is so cool, dude. He elevated it. So, yeah, go check it out. Stevie Wonder, baby. Pastime Paradise. Same song. Gangster's Paradise. And then you have Amish Paradise. Same stuff. But anyways, if you guys got questions, let me know. Guitar, music, streaming questions. I like to answer questions for people. We're kind of just talking about stuff online right now. We're just, kind of just chatting. But if you got questions, let me know. We were talking about writing songs and making vocal melodies and writing lyrics. And there's a bunch of different ways to do it. Some people really like to write music and they want it to be as original as possible, which makes sense. It makes sense, but, you're going to probably accidentally write something similar to someone else. Blake says, what's your dream rig? Oh, man, that's a big question. I mean, this is going to sound strange. I have most of the guitars I want. I have almost everything I want, if you can believe that. Like, there's stuff that I look at and I write down and I want this color. I want this guitar. But I don't need any of them. Like, not a single one. And I know most people watching are like, yeah, but what would you have if you could? I'm talking right now. This is not a joke. There's probably like 50 guitars I could buy if somebody said blank check, buy whatever you want, there'd be like 50 guitars immediately. The same stuff. See, Chaw's like, oh, you were right. Yep, I was right. But as far as I would like some more amps. I would love like an AC-15 or AC-30. I would love to get a Princeton Reverb again because I used to have one and I'm using a simulator, which sounds incredible. I'm really happy with it. But I would like to get the real thing just to have. I would also love to get a JCM 800. I would love to get an Orange, the Rocker amp. I really loved that amp. That was really fun. Or a Tiny Terror. That was a really great amp. I would like some pedals. Not a lot, but a couple. I would like a Memory Man. I would like to have a couple different whammy pedals. I would really like to have, like a phaser. I would like to have maybe a wah, stuff like that. Just a whole bunch of different pedals, things that I like. Just in case. It's like, I want to play Hendrix today. Guess I'm going to get a fuzz face, a wah pedal. I'm going to get a Univibe, and then I got an amp. But what's funny is the reason I feel this way, I'm like, I don't really need this stuff because I have it all on my computer. Like, watch this. If I sit down at my computer and I say, I feel like playing every song I've ever wanted to play. Somebody give me a band or an artist real quick. Somebody give me any artist you can think of. Lidl says, I have an 81 PV210, and I love it. Cool, dude. I have a 5150 upstairs. Yeah, dude, I got a 5150. It's sick. Blake says Nirvana. No, different one. We already know I have plenty of Nirvana stuff. MCR? No, give me a different one. Give me a different one. I want to see like an iconic guitar sound. That's what I'm trying to find. Like, there's so many great guitar sounds. Because I could do Hendrix like that. Like, no big deal. Let's see here. U2? I could do U2. That's not a bad one. So, for example, I just sit down. I turn this on. You get that really cool Memory Man kind of delay. Let's make it a little faster. Let's make it a little faster. You get that beautiful delay sound. Oh, Van Halen would be perfect. Okay, let's do a Van Halen. We need to get a phaser. Let's go get a phaser going on. Like literally, I can just sit down. Any kind of sound I want, it's there. So let's see. What do we got? Modulation, chorus. We're on a phase 9. We need a little distortion. Let's do it before. Hold on. Get a different amp real quick. We're going to get a 5150, which is an incredible amp. PV. Where is it? I think I actually have a Van Halen setting in this. No, I didn't save it on this computer. That's right. So let me get the amp. Where's the 5150? Soldano? I think a Soldano would actually work. It's a flanger? Are you sure? He's famously used a phase 90 or a phase something. Yeah, let me see something. You said it's flanger? I don't think it's a flanger, dude. Oh, he might have used a flanger. Let's go back to the phaser. See how accurate that is. Could have swore it was a phaser. They're very similar effects, but. I don't know. That sounds more accurate to me. But that's what I mean. Is I kind of have all the gear I want. So what's another one? What's another very iconic guitar sound? I'm gonna pull up Hendrix while we're waiting. A Hendrix one would be super easy. What you do is you get a modulation. You get a Univibe. That's Hendrix in a box, baby. Oh, that's a perfect one, Lidl. I like that. Let me get my Strat. Put a Strat sound on it. Get a little bit of a cleaner amp. Get a Princeton. Even though you use Marshalls. There we go. I'm going to put a Univibe, and then we'll do the Metallica sound. But that's what I'm saying. I don't want to buy anything because I have everything I already want. You know what I mean? It sounds silly, but it's true. And then you get that fuzz, you get that. You know what I mean? It's just Hendrix in a box. It's right there. So we'll go to the Metallica setting. We'll do that. So we're going to get a, what was it, JC, Jazz Chorus. from Roland. I don't know if I have that specific one, but I could probably find it. Clean jazz amp. Here we go. I've actually got to play one of these in real life. Very affordable, too. So let's get some reverb off there. We'll get some chorus. How does it go? Whoop. It's like right there. I don't know how to play the song really, but that's the beauty of having like the program. It's easy. But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't have to buy anything. I have all the guitars I want, pretty much. And if I want something else because it looks better, it has a different color. And then if I want the sound I want, I just go to my amp simulators. They're all there, dude. So everything's there. We got JJ. What's up, dude? See what I mean, though? Am I wrong? That sounded exactly like the song. It's like damn close. But that's what I mean by dream rig. It's like I pretty much have everything I want. I feel like this was built for me. I'm really happy with that. But as far as the guitars go, that obviously took a lot longer to get all the ones that I want, and you get the sounds you want. But having a Strat, having an acoustic, have a Les Paul, something with a humbucker in it that's like full size, all that stuff. They kind of hard to replicate, so you have to get something. And then having something at your feet, so you can just be like, It's all there. All of it's there. So I don't really have a dream rig anymore. I have everything I want. I just want to buy something that I really like. Nope, don't know how to play that, man. Sorry, no music requests. I'm just kind of answering some questions. I give some examples with my guitars, but I can't play any full songs really. Especially if I don't know the song. So I don't know who that is or what it is or anything like that. So. But bottom line, though, is that if you got questions about guitar, music, streaming, if you want to ask a question that's not a request or you're just asking if I know how to play a song, dude, go right ahead. I got plenty of answers for you. Oh, JJ, what I was saying yesterday. Remember how I was like, I don't know if we'll have guitars tomorrow? I was wrong. Had a couple come in today, so I was very happy about that. So we might be having another Guitar Mageddon. We'll see. And I did find a guitar that I wanted to kind of keep to use as a secondary guitar for the show, but it does have one pretty glaring problem, so we might be smashing it tonight. So let me show you what it looks like real quick. I'll go grab it. So don't go anywhere. It's literally in the next room. Now this is a brand I've seen before, but it's not like anything I would, write home about. It's just a regular Dreadnought acoustic, all that stuff. Let's see if we can get it in tune. It's I only paid like $30 for it, so I was really happy. So. Actually, it should be half step down. See, it works as an acoustic. It's fine. Just stick to that, man. See, it sounds fine. Like, it sounds like an acoustic. Here's the problem, though. It has, like, a big dent in it. See it? It has, like, a big dent in the wood. It's, like, going through it. There's, like, a hole. So, got it for, like, no money. So we might be using this as a guitar for the show until the time comes. Oh yeah, Trigger. Yeah, his guitar. He wore that hole into his guitar. Which, by the way, that hole is appearing on my guitar. You can see it. What is it? Right here. There's like a big spot where there's a bunch of wood missing. See the light? It doesn't catch because there's no finish there. So I'm getting one of those too. So I'm like, so I want to keep this for sure. Had it for 20 years. You know what I mean? Definitely want to wear it out for sure. Yeah, this one's more of a puncture wound. It's not like a wear mark. It sounds fine. I like the neck too. Yeah, it sounds fine. It's not as clear, but also it's got old strings. Yep, sounds fine. I bet you if I put new strings on, it'll be okay, but I don't know if I want to keep it. But it's okay. Yeah, that's a pretty nasty. You can't really see it that well, but it is huge. It is like a big dent. See there? Oh, yeah, you can kind of see it that way. Yeah, so it's not bad, but, it works. But yeah, this is one of the guitars we might smash tonight. Might. Put it there like that. Okay. But any questions? Anybody want to talk about any specific subjects about music? Because I'll just keep rattling off. Yeah, last night's show was incredible. Absolutely incredible. Had a great time. Man, what a great show. What else? Oh, I was working on music earlier today, too. I was recording Nostalgiac, the acoustic version. I was actually getting that taken care of. Featherweight's pretty much done, so I got Nostalgiac, the acoustic version. That's going to be pretty good to go. Ivan says, what kind of music you think is the best use for a 12-string guitar? Well, I have a joke about 12 strings that I really enjoy. 12 strings are interesting because half the time you spend playing them, you're actually tuning them up. So half the time you spend, with a 12 string is tuning it. The other half is tuning it. I'm sorry. Can I tell that again? Hold on. See, when you own a 12 string, let me tell you something about 12 strings. Half the time you have a 12 string, you spend tuning it. The other half you spend playing it out of tune. There you go. But 12 strings are cool. They're kind of archaic now. They're kind of just not really worth it, in my opinion. I do have a 12 string in that room. There's a room back there. You can't see it behind the magic. But the problem with 12 strings is they do go out of tune a lot, and they're kind of designed to be out of tune because the whole point of chorus is you have the same signal. It's doubled, and it's just slightly off pitch. That's it. We're talking slightly. So anytime you hear chorus, that's what it is. So when you have a 12 string, the whole object of it is to make sure it has that cool kind of like watery effect. But you can just buy a chorus pedal, and it sounds great. You can also just have a double recording of the guitar. You can just do that. But when you have a 12 string, the neck is so much bigger because it has to deal with the tension. The bridges on them lift up and they rip off. So, but as far as what songs, it's whatever you want. Sky's the limit, man. Like, you could use 12 strings in metal if you really want to. Like, what is there, a rule against it? What, are the guitar police going to come get you? Yeah, no problem. Yeah, not a big deal. I like how people. Hold on. What is the title of this video, or what is the title of this live stream? What is this called? What's it called? Can anyone read it? Anyway, it says something about ask me anything, and then it says something about read it. Very funny. I love it when people come in here like, can you play me a song? And it's just like, maybe I should just make this huge. Maybe I should make it like that. Does that make sense? We'll just do that. Can you sing something? Yeah, I'll sing you a song of respect and wonderful compliments. Get out of my chat. Get out of here, nerd. But as for Yeah, as for the 12-string question, it's really, there's no kind of rule for making sure songs go with certain instruments. People always say, like, I need to buy a metal guitar, I need to buy a blues guitar. Those don't exist. Like, that's not a real thing. I mean, you could argue that there are guitars that aesthetically fit that, or maybe they have certain features that fit that, but it's not. You don't have to do that. You know what I mean? Like, you can get a Kerry King signature BC Rich, and you can play blues on it. You can get a Strat, and you can play metal. The problem is that if you use high gain on single coil pickups, like on a Strat, it can get kind of noisy. But again, there's ways around that. It's not a big deal. It doesn't make sense how that works. So, yeah, doesn't really make sense. But I mean, the whole advantage of a 12-string is that it sounds very watery. It sounds very mystical. It has that kind of high chime to it. So, I mean, obviously, if you're trying to write a song with a 12-string, maybe that's good for you. I don't know. But again, most people don't use 12 strings anymore. They were kind of a novelty in the 70s, and then they kind of just faded away for some reason. I think it's because they're kind of a pain in the ass. And the fact that you can just, double track the guitar. You can also do pitch things with it. You can also get pedals, things like that are much easier to use. Of course, the 12 string is going to sound a bit better. Not by a lot, but it's going to be more authentic sounding. But is it worth the pain of owning a guitar that you're only going to use for like one song? I don't know. It doesn't really make sense to me. But I do have a 12 string, but like I said, it's out of commission because of the problems I said earlier. The bridge is lifting, things like that. Restringing a 12 string sounds like torture. It's not so bad, but it does take twice as long. And again, if it goes out of tune too much, it sounds bad. So you do have to worry about those things. Yeah, they're just maintenance heavy. There's too much work for not enough to gain. Does that make sense? Like, if you think about it this way, if you have like a can of beans, right? And the effort it takes to get a big spoonful at the beginning is like, okay, it's the same amount of effort, that same motion. But when you get to the bottom of the can, there's like only 1 or 2 beans at the bottom. You have to try and really get those beans out. You're only getting 1 bean as opposed to like a giant mound of it. So it's the same work for less gain. Same thing with certain things with guitar. You're doing way more effort to get way little percentage over that. They call that diminishing returns. So it's diminishing returns if you want to know the actual term for that. But yeah, 12 strings but again, there is a certain quality to them that is hard to replicate completely faithfully. But in a song, in the mix, it's like, it's not so big of a deal. But if you want to play Wish You Were Here, if you want to play Stairway to Heaven, you got to get a 12 string. It's kind of the rule. It's how it happens. Landon says, do you have an EVH guitar? No, but those are pretty good. I do like those. The Wolfgang is pretty good. He had, what was the one from PV? He had the one from PV that was really good, that was based off, or the Wolfgang is based off of. It's pretty much the same guitar. But basically, it's like a Les Paul and a Strat put together, which I don't think they look good. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I'll pull it up. We'll pull up a Wolfgang. Or are you talking about the original Frankenstrat? Because that's, if you want to get technical, that's like the Eddie Van Halen guitar, but you wouldn't call it the EVH. I guess that makes sense. You would just call it a Frankenstrat. Here, I'll pull it up. The Wolfgang, which was named after his son, who is now a guitar player, which is really funny. So here we go. We'll pull this up. We got the Microsoft Edge. There we go. So we'll go. Phew. So this is the Wolfgang. I played these before. They're very nice. I like them. They're a little small, which is a little weird. But if you look at it, let's get one that's like, there we go. This is a burst. So if you look at it, it's got a maple neck on it, which is kind of a Fender thing. So it's like this guitar, which is kind of based off his real thing. But if you look at it, it's got that kind of Les Paul, quilted maple, flame maple, burst kind of thing going on, like this guitar. So it's basically both of those instruments put together, if you look at it. So you got the, if you look at the bottom half of this, it's got a flat bottom and it's rounded. You get that kind of effect. Whoops. You get that kind of effect here. See the bottom? Look where the knobs are. The knobs are kind of in the same spot. The pickup selector being up here instead of down there. There's a lot of similarities. It's basically they just put them together. Which, again, very smart idea. But I don't know. I'd rather just have a Les Paul. I'd rather just have a Strat. I'm also not a big Floyd Rose guy. So that big old hunk of metal right there, not a big fan of it. I like my guitars to stay in tune and, not move around when I'm moving around. But as far as a Frankenstrat goes, that's pretty much what I have. I mean, there's a lot of similarities between this guitar that I have and his, which I didn't know until after I was, designing it. Where's the the Frankenstrat? The white one. Yeah, here's the white and black one, which is very similar to the one I have. If you look at it, like not just aesthetically, but it's got a single volume, no tone. It does have a single pickup instead of a neck pickup and a bridge pickup. But yeah, maple neck, all that stuff. So makes sense. One Egg says, play Drain You. You really want me to play Drain You, man? Oh, I would love to play Drain You. What band is that from? I think it's Nirvana, right? What's the band called? One Egg, I got a riddle for you. What is another way to say the number 2? What is another way to say number 2? If you had to put it on a word, what's another way to say number 2? Like the number, like meaning both. You don't know? I guess I got nothing for you. Salty says 2. No, I'm talking about the number 2. Deuce, that's true, but that's not the answer to my riddle. But I'm asking One Egg. 2, another way to say the number 2. You said the word 2. Nice try. JJ says poop. I was waiting for that. But no, I want to make sure One Egg gets this because I'll play Drain You if he gets it. What's another? Go ahead, go on ChatGPT and look it up. What's another way to say 2? Or how about both? Maybe both. You already said 2. We're not really coming up with anything new, are we? That's French Landon. Still not One Egg, but thank you for popping in here. So, no, I've never listened to him. I also heard he's kind of a piece of shit. So, let's see. I don't know what that is. That might be some other language's number 2. Let me see. All right, I got an idea. Well, this is for One Egg. What about the prefix? Is there a prefix or something like that for 2? Hebrew. Now I know you Googled that. Hold on, I'm trying to do a bit here. One Egg. What's the prefix? 2? Yeah. We already said that. I know you're trying really hard. Pumpkin says, what time are you playing music today? Every single day I play music at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, buddy. 9 p.m. That's on my main channel. So, yeah, if you're popping over here because you think I'm going to play you music, I got bad news for you. It's not there. But if you go to my other channel, my main one that's just Patrick Gnarly, not Patrick Gnarly Company, that's where I only play music. I don't talk to people. So, One Egg says, all right, I'm going to be back. All right, well, that'll be perfect. One Egg is quickly downloading the entire internet to his phone because he cannot answer the simple question of what's a prefix for the word 2. So we'll enjoy that when he gets back. But anyone else notice has any questions for me besides can you play a song, which is clearly marked right there, no requests? You know what I might want to do is I might just do this. I might move this because it's very funny how people keep coming in and asking me to play music. Even though I made this channel so people could ask me questions instead of ask me to play music. So play Nirvana. All right, I got a riddle for you, Richard. What's a prefix for the word 2 or the number 2 or the word both? What do you got? What do you got? Blake says, here we go again. Marco says, run to the hills. Why? What's coming? Is it your mom? Usually I don't run away from her when that happens. Mike Midwest says, dose. No, that's Spanish. That's not a prefix. Bye. Oh, you're leaving? Oh, okay. Well, bye. That took forever. Oh, my friend, please. Oh, love it. That was great. Tap that screen if you thought that was funny. That was great, dude. Oh, we annihilated that kid. He left to go look it up. That was great. Richard, you want to be the next person? Go ahead. Go ahead. I got. You know what? I'll preemptively do it. You go. You got it. Boom! Got him. That's 2. Perfect, dude. You like that? I like that. I like that. Yeah, there we go. Why? JJ says, "What's your favorite Nirvana song?" I don't really have one. I mean, I love all the ones I play on the show. I mean, over the years, it's been changing so much that I just don't. It's whatever I feel like at the moment. Yeah, if it's on the show, I love the song. They're all great. They're all great. They really are. Because like sometimes you want to hear School, sometimes you want to hear Aneurysm, sometimes you want to hear Heart Shaped Box, sometimes you want to hear Dumb and stuff like that. So they're my favorite band. So it's like they all have their special place. They all have their special place for sure. They're all very important to me. Pumpkin Boy says, "What is the name of your other channel?" It's just Patrick Gnarly. It's just Patrick Gnarly. There's Patrick Gnarly and Company, which is this one, and then there's Patrick Gnarly. You can go there right now if you want to. You can wait. But dude, we nailed that. That was so funny. We got him. So bam, we got him. So good. Anyways, if you guys got questions about guitar, music, and streaming, please let me know. Yeah, let me know. That was great. The best part about it was he left and then came back, and then we kicked him out immediately. It's a perfect moment. Dragon Ball. I love that show. Anybody watch Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z? I actually really enjoyed Dragon Ball. I went back as an adult and watched Dragon Ball, and then I started watching Dragon Ball Z again. Because I watched it. I haven't watched it since I was like 12 or 13. Damn, it was so funny, dude. Such a great moment. Blake says, "How often do you use your Big Muff?" If you don't know, that is a fuzz pedal. If you don't know what a fuzz pedal is, I will show you what it sounds like. Basically, it's Jimi Hendrix. If you're a big fan of Jimi Hendrix, he uses a lot of fuzz. So this is a fuzz. This is what it sounds like without the fuzz. This is with fuzz. Fuzz is like an essential part of the rig. It's such a great overpowering distortion. But what's nice about it is that it's so thick sounding, so you can get that really heavy, kind of sound to it. Whereas like a distortion pedal, it sounds, obviously distorted, but it's not as distorted, which is kind of funny. But if I go to a fuzz, but to answer your question, how often do I use it? Not as often as I used to. It kind of was like a half. I would either use a clean boost, a distortion, or I would use fuzz. That was pretty much all I used. So that's all I would use. Will you take a song request at 9 on your other channel? Man, really being a detective right now. Yes, I am. Yes, I will take song requests on the main channel. Yeah, that's why if people want to talk to me and ask questions, that's what this channel is. If people want to ask me to play songs, that's what the other channel's for. The reason there's 2 different channels is, one, every time I play music, people get mad at me when I just talk. But when I want to talk, people get mad at me when I try to play music. Isn't that funny? So it's very interesting how that works. So anytime I'm playing guitar or something like that, people want me to play music. So that's why I like to answer questions on here and hang out and just kind of, give my opinion on stuff. So Dragon says, "How are you doing?" I'm doing great. How are you? We're talking about guitar. We're talking about music. We're talking about streaming. Dragon Ball. Are you just Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball, the original show? What do you like to make? I'm curious because I've seen some people come in here on their like main accounts, like you are, and it's not like a personal account where it's like somebody's name or some innocuous thing. It's like no, I make these kinds of things. So Steve says you can't satisfy everyone all the time. I guess. Yep, it's exactly what it is, dude. 100%. That's why I have 2 different channels. One for the music, one for the talking. So Dragon Ball says cap cut videos. That makes sense to me. Makes perfect sense. Big fan. How long have you been watching Dragon Ball for? Or what did you originally want to do with that channel? You always wanted to just take Dragon Ball stuff and just put it on a channel? I'm curious because I used to do on this channel. I used to make videos about interesting people, places, and things in Virginia. It used to be called Locals Only, and you can actually see my old videos. They're still up there. But I used to not play music or anything like that on here. So now I just kind of talk to people and answer questions, things like that, give advice. You've always wanted to do that? Interesting. That's fascinating. So how long have you been doing Dragon Ball shorts? I'm going to guess, if I can take a guess, 5 years? 2 years? How long have you been making shorts? You play trumpet. Very cool. Not what I was asking. Oh, that's fun. I think you were answering something earlier. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because there's a couple people that watch my show and they're like business accounts, which it would be like Dan's Air Conditioning, and their account it'll say Dan's Air Conditioning, which is just funny to see some air conditioning thing. 5 months? You've only been doing it 5 months? Have you made any money? Because this is my job. Not this channel specifically. This I make just time for people. My main channel, that's my main job. So this is my second channel. You don't make money with it? Why do you do it? You just love it? Oh, let's check out your channel real quick. I'm going to be sneaky. Well, I just announced what I was doing. What? What? You're too young to have a YouTube account. What are you, like 7? You can't have a YouTube account. What are you doing on here, dude? That has nothing to do with Dragon Ball at all. What the flip? That's unbelievable. What are you? Get out of here, dude. Get out of here, dude. You're not supposed to be on here. That's so funny, dude. You got to change the name of your channel, dude. I thought you were making videos and making money. Well, I'll tell you what, Dragon Ball. I'm not mad at you, but you shouldn't be in chat rooms yet. You're too young. Get out of here. I'm not mad at you. But yeah, you're too young. You can't be in here. You shouldn't even be on the internet, to be honest. That's a little baby. Dude, I was just talking to a baby. That was insane. Oh, my God. Somebody call that kid's parents. Let's see here. Silent says, awesome Les Paul, Patrick. Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I love Les Pauls. I'm not a big fan of Gibson, though. Isn't that weird? I like Les Pauls. Gibson's kind of a goofy company. Very weird. Pumpkin says, can you teach me a little bit about guitar? I'm trying to learn. What would you like to know? What questions you got? Let's see here. Steve says, what do you use to record? Pro Tools? Should I say studio equipment? I just use a program called Ableton. Ableton is just something I like, but you can use whatever you want. There's Reaper, which is free. Audacity, which is free. Ableton costs money, but it's pretty inexpensive. You can get the cheaper one. I think it's like $70, less than $100, if I'm not mistaken. Has a lot of great built-in effects and things like that. I really enjoy it. It's very intuitive. Well, it's more intuitive than other things. But if you have Apple, you have Logic. There's Pro Tools. Pro Tools, if I'm not mistaken, that's like super expensive. So it's pretty crazy. I like how Roman says, please answer my question. I have a YouTube channel. That's not a question. You were just telling me you have a YouTube channel, buddy. If you got a question, though, let me know. But Pumpkin says, just the basics on how you started. Do you own a guitar? Have you never played guitar in your life? Pumpkin, let me know where you're starting. Roman says, yes, I'm 6. Still not a question, but thanks for trying. I'll tell you what. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, all right? Let me ask you a question. Let me see here. I'm trying to figure out something for you. Gibson is greedy. I mean, yes and no. They're only charging people what they're willing to pay. I just think that the problem with Gibson is that they have kind of a monopoly, which is funny because they really don't. But people really like older designs, and you want to play your Guitar Hero's favorite guitars. And the idea is that when you want to play something that's like your heroes, that kind of has some abuse built in, because then people are like, okay, you'll pay whatever I say. It's like, yeah, but not really. Because there's a used market. They also have cheaper guitars now. Like, dude, if you look at the studios they make today, the Les Paul studios, they're excellent. They are very well made, and their quality control's gotten better. So it's not as big of a deal. It's not as bad. So, but Yeah. If you're looking at the custom shop stuff, you're not really being real about it. You're just kind of buying collector's items, which is, hey, let people do it. But if you're buying something like I got this used for $1,500, you know what I mean? It's a great guitar. $1,500 is honestly worth it. It's a great guitar. I really like it. Yeah, you like Ibanez? That's great, dude. That's great. I just couldn't get into it because of the flat necks. I don't like the flat wide necks. But now I'm getting more warmed up to them. But for the long time I didn't. Rachel said I like how Gibson looks and I like Fender a little better. I like both of them. I mean, if I had to sponsor with somebody, it'd be Fender for sure. But I think Heritage makes really good guitars. They were like the old Gibson style stuff. I enjoy those a lot. So, yeah. Yeah, but I mean, if somebody says, hey, $1,500, you want this or not? It's like, yeah, I'll take it. But if somebody said $3,000, I'd be like, nah, that's a little too much. Little too much for me, my friend. Yeah. So Your Venom says, what pedals do you use? I have a whole video, actually, on the pedals that I use. But I got a couple, not many. I have like a reverb, distortion pedal. I got a fuzz. I got a chorus, different reverb. The most recent pedal I got was a pitch shifting pedal. So you can get that kind of... You get that kind of cool Tom Morello thing, which I like, but it's a cheap... I don't actually like the pedal, which is why I'm not saying it. But it works. Carla says, Patrick, what's your opinion about fretless guitars? Ooh. Well, they sound weird. And when I say they sound weird, they definitely have a thing that I think is unappealing. I think the appeal of a guitar is that it's a bit easier to play than most other stringed instruments, which is like if you play a piano. Oh, I'm sorry. If you play piano, even though there are strings in it. If you play a violin, if you play a cello, if you play an upright bass, you have to memorize that board. Like that neck, you have to memorize that. If you screw up a little bit, you're out. Whereas with guitars, if you think about it, frets are kind of the original auto-tune. That's pretty much what it is, if you think about it. You know, you can put your finger, you have like a whole inch of space to where if you're wrong, you still got it. So it's very funny how that works. It also has like a bunch of different benefits, like if you're trying to do like a tremolo, a vibrato, so to speak. So the idea is that instead of doing like going back and forth, you go side to side. So it has like an interesting technique to it, which I really enjoy. But it's good. I like it. Steve says, Ableton, I've been using BandLab and love it, but it doesn't matter what I do. You can't do the mastering to get the life of you. I get the levels right in the studio, but then it sounds different. I see exactly what you're saying. I mean, that's an issue with most programs. If you are trying to record things, like I'll give you an example. My headphones that I use do not sound the same as when I'm playing it through my speakers or if I'm playing it through my car speakers. And when you render the file, it has some changes to it too. That's just something you're just going to have to get used to. Unfortunately, you got to do the best work you can, render the file, listen to it, and you go, oh, that's too loud or that's too bassy. Go back, redo part of it, right? Render it, play it again, and be like, is this better or worse? It's just you have to do it. I mean, there are ways to get around that, but you have to get specific equipment. You have to have your good speakers going. You have to be able to hear the references. It's weird. But for most people who have to render it and go back and forth, yeah, it is like a trial and error kind of situation. Now, I know for a fact some people are going to be like, you don't have to do that. But if you're using BandLab on your phone or something and you're using headphones, yeah, you do have to kind of do a little bit of back and forth. So it's pretty obnoxious. It happens to a lot of people. I will raise you one more, Steve. Not a joke. My Ableton program, when I used to use a Behringer, I still do. I have a Behringer interface, and the driver was out of date. I swear to you on my life, I would only be able to record for about 30 seconds before the driver started to fail, and it would start to glitch out really bad. So my entire first album, my entire second album, and I think my entire third album that I ever recorded, which you can listen to from my band finals if you want to. Oh, sorry. I clicked something. We got to go back. Yeah, if you go and listen to those files, I had to record them 30 seconds at a time. Because every time after about 30 seconds, the recording would just go really loud. Isn't that insane? Absurd. So if you don't have the right drivers for your interface or for Ableton or whatever your program you're using, it'll screw up. It wasn't until like my 5th or 6th record did I find the proper driver for it. So Pumpkin says, "Yeah, I own a guitar, but I haven't played any songs yet." Okay, well, I'll tell you what. Let me level with you, Pumpkin. So that's a funny name, dude. That's like calling yourself Sweetheart. Let me tell you something, Sweetheart. When you're trying to learn guitar for the first time, you got to get your fingers on both sides, mainly your wrist, and you got to get that cooperating with your brain. Because let me explain something to you. Let me show you something. I'm going to play something real quick, just a simple exercise, and then I'm going to switch hands. My brain knows how to play guitar. You know this. Like, watch. Right? You can do that. I hit all those notes. You got it. I'm going to flip my guitar over. Again, I got the same brain. I know what I'm doing. But if I try to play it left-handed, you're going to see how bad I am. I can barely hold the pick. You get it? You have to get your muscles and your tendons and all that stuff working together. When you switch lefty to righty, dude, a lot of guitar players forget how difficult it is in the very beginning. So what you want to do is get your fingers and your wrist cooperating. So what you got to do is you sit down with your guitar, and all I want you to do in the very beginning for the first couple days, you're not going to learn any songs right away, but what I want you to do is play a couple chords, play a couple single notes. So we're going to start. I'll just teach you right now. Here's what you want to do, bud. What I want you to do is to just slowly go back up and down one string. Because as you do that, you'll figure out, okay, every time I switch notes, I got to hit the note. Because if you just do this, it doesn't sound great, does it? If I just do this, nothing, it's just one note. So you got to get your left hand and your right hand cooperating. And then once you do that, what you're going to do is you're going to learn how to do chords too. And chords are super great because you can learn songs immediately. Pumpkin says, "How hard do you push down on a normal guitar?" Well, there's no such thing as a normal guitar, bud. But I will tell you this, on your guitar, you push down until it hits the note. Because if you don't, watch this, and listen to this. You can tell when it's like buzzing and making that net. If it's not making the sound you want, then it's wrong. So obviously you're trying to communicate this through text. I can't tell if you're doing it right or wrong. But what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to sit down and just one string at a time. Try and get your left hand and your right hand hanging out. So I can't teach you guitar through this. Obviously, this isn't a great method. Also, there's 14 other people that are watching me do something really boring. So you're just going to have to figure it out, man. I want you to go on YouTube and look up fundamentals of guitar. Look up basics of guitar. There's Justin Guitar. There's Marty. There's a whole bunch of guys that teach you how to play guitar all the way through. See, Zoe said, "I just tried to play Come As You Are left-handed. It was terrible." Dude, I'm telling you. People forget how hard it is in the very beginning because you just don't have the communication. You don't have the nerves. You don't have the knowledge there. But I'll show you something really interesting. So we said Nirvana. Let's see if we can do some Nirvana left-handed. See, I have to pause and make sure my fingers go on the right notes. Terrible. Terrible. Again, I know how to play it. But when you switch hands, all the stuff that it got used to is gone. You just got to be nice to your hands. Let them develop. Because if you think about it, like when you started like walking, you had to crawl first, right? You had to move your arms and your legs. You had to get your groove, and then you figured it out one step at a time. So people think when they first start playing guitar, it's like, oh, it'll be easy. It's like, no, you have to like learn how to walk. Essentially, you have to learn how to talk. So that's what you want to do. Look up resources online, man. Got to go. There's a bunch of YouTube videos out there for free that teach you the fundamentals of guitar. You teach yourself, hang out, and then one of the most important things I can tell you is when you're learning guitar is you got to get it set up. Get your guitar set up to make sure it's good for your hands. Have you ever sat in a car and like the seat is way too high or it's too low? You don't want to sit in a seat like that. Or if you're sitting at a dinner table and the chair is too small, you can't reach your food. You got to make sure it's comfortable for you. So that's what you got to do, man. Pumpkin says, did you start on a non-electric or electric? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's whatever you want. Some people will say that acoustic is better because the strings are a little thicker and you don't have to buy as much equipment and it keeps you honest. Other people will notice, well, if electric guitar is a little easier to play, don't you want to get the fundamentals first and then move on to something harder? Doesn't that make sense? You don't want to play the game on hard mode when you're learning. That'd be awful. So some people like electrics to start out with because you get more rock and roll. There's more variety of sounds, easier to play. But it is, a little bit different. So I think you should play whatever appeals to you. If you think acoustic is cool, get an acoustic. If you think electric is cool, get an electric. You got to work with it. It turns out if you like something, you're more likely to stay with it even if it's more difficult. Who'd have thought? You will finish your vegetables if you put butter on them. Who'd have thought? You know what I mean? Turns out you'll walk a farther distance if you're not walking up a hill. Trey says, how did you get your first 50 subscribers? I made good videos. People enjoyed them. Talked to people. What's even funnier, too? If people think, oh, this is a small channel. It is. But TikTok, 75,000 followers. My other YouTube channel, 25,000 followers or subscribers. This one, smaller because it's new. And we just started talking to people about it. So it's nice. But you get subscribers by giving them something they want, man. Now, a lot of people make the mistake of thinking that you should be doing something for yourself. Like, how do I get 50 subscribers? It's like, no. What can you provide for people? What can you do for people that would make them want to subscribe? That's what you want. If you want to make funny videos, make funny videos. People will naturally enjoy it, and they'll naturally subscribe. Lidl says, Pat, have you heard the band Knocked Loose? Yes, I have. Their singer has a weird habit, and I like them. I do enjoy their music. But I've always noticed this with Knocked Loose. Their singer kind of hits the same note every song, which I don't understand. So Rachel says, wait till hit 25,000. Wait, it hit 25,000? No, I'm rounding up. It's at 24,347. But we're almost there, dude. We're almost there. But yeah, the whole point, though, I'm trying to make here is anytime you're trying to do something that, you're charging people for, you're doing some kind of business transaction, you got to provide a service. You got to provide a product. You got to do something for somebody else. And if you do something that people like, they'll come back. Easy as that. Don't think about it, what's in it for you, what's in it for them. That's a big part of it. So, Trey says, do you still have a pile of broken guitars behind you? Weren't you here yesterday? What happened? What do you think? I just clean up the guitar smashing mess the moment it happens? So JJ says money. There you go, JJ. JJ's like, hey, I fund you. It's like, yes, you do. Rachel says, oh, I thought I missed it. Oh, no, you didn't miss it. I was just rounding up. Actually, Trey, were you here last night when we were smashing guitars? What are you, crazy? Trey says, how many of your streamers are you homies with in real life? What? What are you talking about? Hold on a second. You think I know everybody in my chat in real life? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, man? Do you think I know everybody? What do you mean? Blake says, Pat, what's your favorite restaurant? Off topic. Nah, we're just talking about whatever. Favorite restaurant? I don't know if I have one necessarily. There have been good restaurants that I remember. There was a place called Padrino's They used to have really good pizza where I used to live in Virginia. I really enjoyed that place. There used to be also a Japanese steakhouse that was awesome called Tokyo Japanese Steakhouse. They closed down, though. I loved that place. That place was awesome. I loved it. Lidl says, Patrick Studio? No. Guitar Death Scene? Oh, yeah, there you go. Oh, yeah. For sure. Yeah, hold on a second. Trey, I was asking you a question. How many... Well, let me ask you a question. Hold on. Let me ask you a question. Trey, do you think that people online know people online in real life for the most part? What does that mean? What are you talking about? Steve says, oh, and know what you mean about liking Les Pauls, but Gibson does do annoying stuff like when they mess with the design, like the Junior Special and the P90. Oh, yeah. I totally agree. Totally agree, dude. They always do lots of weird stuff like that. Guitar, please smash. Trey says no. Why would you ask a question like that? That was a really bizarre question. Pumpkin says, I don't know this guy. I just know I'm offline. Another $10 comment. Beautiful. Another amazing observation. Crazy. Thank you, JJ. I appreciate you, buddy. But I'll tell you this. Let me explain this. Most people that stream or they make videos online, for the most part, they don't really interact with viewers offline, like in person. That's not really a thing that happens. I would say that the amount of times I've been recognized in real life, the only time let me rephrase that. The only times I've ever been recognized in real life is when I used to work at a guitar shop. And that happened like once a week. But I didn't like hang out with people. They would just say, hey, you're that guy from the internet. I'd be like, yeah. And I'd be like, oh, that's so cool. Like I've given autographs and stuff like that. And you're going to think, well, you only have like 1,000 people on this channel. Again, this is only one channel of the many channels I have. So it's very funny. JJ says it's like taking your work home with you. My home is my work. Isn't that funny? Trey says, if I stream, I don't want to know anyone who streams me to know who I am or where I live. That makes sense. That makes sense, buddy. All right, I'll tell you what. We're getting a little off topic here. So let me ask you guys a question. Let me take control of the show. All right? We'll get back on track. How many of you actually watch other streamers? Because I've asked this question many times. Many people on the show say that I'm like one of the only people that they watch, which always surprises me. But then again, if you think about it, if somebody watches a streamer already, how much time would they have to watch another one? Doesn't make sense, does it? Does that make sense? Because Sammy says yes. All right, makes sense. Perfect. Rachel says I don't actually. Yeah, see, I think that for the most part, people kind of just don't watch one streamer at a time. That's it. TV says, I watch a lot of streamers that do music and play guitar. Really? Who else do you watch? You're one of the only people that does that. It's very interesting. JJ says, I watch a couple. Oh, who do you watch? You mainly? Oh, okay. That makes sense. But who else do you watch? I'm always curious to see what kind of, what do they call it? Cross-platform kind of information happens. Pumpkin says, some guy taught me every bunny gets drunk on Easter. Excuse me? What? Is there a rabbit bar around in the United States somewhere? Carlos says only this. Thanks, Carlos. Yeah, it's very interesting how that works. But my theory is that most people watch my show for the reason that they just don't watch anything else. Makes sense. So Trey says, "Hey, my mom texted you tonight." No, that was last night, buddy. Very funny thing to say. Sammy says, "I watched Scotty Butter do an acoustic guitar song like Jolly Wall." Never heard of that. Scotty Butter. Never heard that name. Let me pull that up. Scotty Butter. Jelly Roll. Oh, interesting. Oh, his name's Scotty Butters. Oh, is he an old man with a super long, gnarly beard? Let's check him out. Good for him. Wow, this guy's streaming. Oh, I think we have the same mic stand. That's funny. What a cool dude. Shout out to Scotty Butters, dude. I think we have the same guitar. That's awesome. All right. JJ says political analysis. Oh, political analysts to get fired up. Oh, man. That's brutal. I mean, you know what's funny, dude? Because I used to go on Reddit pretty frequently. I had to stop going there because I'd get fired up in like an annoying way. And then I finally realized that it was a complete waste of time. Complete waste of time, dude. Because one, the people that disagree with me on a lot of stuff, they don't care what I have to say. They're just kind of speaking because they have no one to talk to. And I was like, wait a second. That's me. I need to stop doing that. I'm going to get that off of here. So I decided to get off of there because it's like, you don't even know if you're talking to a bot or not. It's like, what's the point? What's the point, man? I've already learned all I need to know at the time. I'd rather do something for self-reflection and self-fulfillment rather than, self-defeating, if that makes sense. Because if I talk to 100 people online in a community that disagrees with me about something, like, let's say music, because I was talking about how counterfeits are bad, and a bunch of people were like, no, counterfeits aren't so bad. And I'm like, get out of my face. I don't want to be part of this community anymore. And then I go to other communities like, yeah, counterfeits are bad. What are they, get stupid? And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to be there anymore. So I don't want to do this. So it's very weird. Sammy says, I'm leaving to tell Scotty Butters that he joined your stream. What? I told you about him a couple of weeks ago. What? Dude, shout out to the Scotty Butters, man. Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Oh, he only does it once a week? My man. Dude, that's awesome. I've been doing this every day for about 2 years. Can you believe it? Let's see here. JJ says, yeah, I actually stopped because it was too much. Totally agree with you, man. I stayed off for a few months and then got back, and you popped up. You've been here. I was wondering where you went. I'm going to tell you right now, man. Always take care of yourself. There's a lot of, I always worry. Let me be real with you for a second. Not that I'm not, but let me, when I say let me be real, let's go to a more specific topic. Let's be more personal about this. Anytime somebody watches my show a lot and they're like very generous donation wise, I always feel like a little concerned, not specifically, but just in general. And I always worry that like maybe people send too many donations or maybe they spend too much time on my show, but I only play for 3 hours a night. So I always do get concerned about that because I want to make sure people take care of themselves. But at the same time, like I'll let people know like, hey, I have like some soft limits on things. I'll give you an example. And I think some of you might have saw this. There was a guy that was on the show not that long ago. He accidentally sent me $200. Amazing donation, but he went, oops, I didn't mean to send that. So I had to, contact him and figure something out with Google and things like that because those are not refundable. So I had to figure that out, and that's happened before. So you got to make sure you take care of people and, don't expect anything. So, but anytime somebody's very supportive of me, I like the support, but I want to make sure they're not overstretching. There was an old saying I saw in a video. They were talking about how if somebody gives you their shirt but they're not wearing one, don't take it. You know what I mean? Like, be careful. So it was very interesting that I saw that recently and I was thinking about that. But that being said, I always appreciate it when people watch my show consistently and they're helpful and they're beneficial. So anytime somebody's donating and things like that, I always appreciate it. But I always do have a bit of concern. And anytime somebody says they made a mistake, I always try to take care of them. So it's a very, very big thing. So Brooks says, finally got here early enough for the Pat Chat. Oh, perfect. You got about 10 minutes with me. So it happens. JJ says, I spend more when I go out than when I spend on your show. I really appreciate you. I'm financially stable loser. Hey, everybody say thank you to JJ for helping out the show. Dude, I'll be real too. I mean, not to get too concerning, but I'll make sure, to keep this light. I used to drink a lot, man. I used to drink every night. I used to go to bars. I used to borrow money to drink and stuff like that. So, dude, believe me. When I say that I like to make sure people kind of take care of themselves, obviously there's a bit of experience that comes with that. So when you realize that you could spend money on things that you care about without going overboard and going too far, it's totally fine. Totally understand. So I got you. So Pumpkin Boy says, do you have an acoustic guitar? Oh yeah, dude. Did you not see the acoustic I had earlier? We had two acoustics. Well, yeah, we have plenty of acoustics on the show. Sammy K says, do you remember, I think it was a few months ago, I told you in a Pat Chat that I was making a collage of your face? Excuse me? You're doing what with my face? Brooke says, I don't drink anymore. Yeah, I can't drink, man. I love it. It's great. I loved it too much, though. Yeah, it's a fun experience to have, but then sometimes it takes over your life. So it sucks. But I'll tell you this. If you can have a beer every once in a while, that's cool, man. But I could not. It was either passed out or whatever. So it sucks, man. Let's see here. Rachel says, hey, don't diss the artist, Pat. Well, let me put it this way. The reason I was like, what? It was, you don't really walk up to somebody and be like, hey, I made a collage of your face. Sounds very weird. So, yeah, Trey says, a non-alcoholic or none. What? What are you talking about? Pumpkin says, can you play a little bit on the acoustic? Does anybody want me to play an acoustic for just a moment? Anybody else? Or are we going to keep talking? Rachel says, that makes sense. I mean, yeah. Like, let me put it this way. If somebody says I made you a cool piece of art, I'm like, that's great. Thank you. But using the phrase, I made a collage of your face, has two implications. One is that there's a collage made of my face into something else. Or it's a collage that turns into my face. So I don't know which one's which. So I'll have to explain it. So Jared says, Yellow Ledbetter, Pearl Jam. Ooh, I didn't know you knew song titles. Do you know how to read too? That's crazy. Can you play Incubus? Ooh, another person asking me something that's on the screen. No idea. Can I play some arpeggios, please? How much you got? We got like 3 people asking me to do a whole bunch of stuff. Any Ozzy? Love it. Love it. All right, I'll tell you what. I'll grab my acoustic for just a second. I will play arpeggios, Drive by Incubus, and Ledbetter Pearl Jam. Yellow Ledbetter, excuse me. I'll play all of them. Yeah, this is the acoustic I picked up just the other day. We're probably going to smash it on the show, though. Sorry, I hadn't dropped E. Brooke says, are we smashing guitars tonight? You betcha. You betcha we are. Let's see here. Trey says, Freebird. Maybe we'll play one of the new songs. This is not copyrighted. I had a dream. It felt so real it made me question reality. Or maybe I won't. No, I always be by your side. I always be your light. I by your side, but I wake up every time. Oops, sorry, that's all I got time for. I said I was going to play some other songs, but I forgot how to play them. I don't know what happened. Sorry. All right. Any other questions? We got about 3 minutes before I got to end the show and then take a break for a little bit, and then we'll be back to play some more music for you. Brooke says, love that. Thank you. Yeah, that's the new guitar. Well, not the new guitar, I should say, but that might be the new guitar for the show. But we might be smashing it tonight, too. So who knows? I don't know, man. Let's see here. Close my eyes. You guys, they were asking me to play songs. Just so you know, I don't know how to play whatever you're asking me. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's already damaged pretty bad. No other questions? Nobody's got. No. Let me be clear too. Can you play blah 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 song? Is not a question. That's a request. That's like going up to somebody and be like, "Hey, judge, can I ask you a question?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." It's like, "Can you cancel the hearing tonight?" They'd be like, "No, no, you can't do that." The question is like asking for information. It's not a, "Can you do this for me?" You know what I mean? So, Trey says, "I was asking if you like Greta Van Fleet or Grateful Dead." I've listened to Greta Van Fleet. Their first album's really good. Their second album is not very good, in my opinion. I think the first album was like, it was like bonus Led Zeppelin. It was like everybody was very happy. And then they just decided to not do that on the second record. And everybody kind of went, please don't do that again. So I'm pretty sure they're going to come up with a new record, relatively so. But as far as Grateful Dead goes, they got some good songs. Not a super fan, but I do like them. Truckin'. But gotta be careful with singing songs and stuff. Hold on, what? Who do you think is better, Ozzy Osbourne or the Beatles? Ooh, Beatles. Love Ozzy. But if I gotta pick one, I listen to Ozzy far more. For sure. Black Sabbath is one of my favorite bands of all time. But I definitely prefer the idea of if I had to pick one, it'd be the Beatles for sure. JJ says, "I'll see you on the show later." Thank you for JJ being the only person who donated on the show and helped us smash some guitars. All right, everybody. I guess that's it. Rachel says, unrelated, but no, that's related. I wore a Final shirt today and someone complimented it. Get out of town. That is so cool. Dude, did you be like, oh, he's a guy that plays music online? I don't know why I did that to your voice. I had to do girl voice. Oh, he's a guy that plays music online. Or that's the excited voice, I should say. Let's do that. So, all right, everybody. I got to get off. If you're just joining us, my name is Patrick Gnarly. I like to do a pre-show, and I hang out with you guys for about an hour and a half, almost 2 hours. Anytime I'm going to play music on my main channel, which is just Patrick Gnarly, if you want to go there and listen to me play music. That's why it says no music requests on here, because I got plenty of music to play tonight. We got a bunch of guitars we're going to smash, too, if we get enough donations. Once again, everybody say thank you to JJ for being the only person who sent a donation on this channel. Thank you so much, buddy. I will see you guys in about 20 minutes. We'll be back. Make sure you subscribe to this one if you want to. And then check out Patrick Gnarly, which is just me, my channel where I play music and I hang out and we smash guitars. So, all right. That's it, everybody. I'll see you guys 20 minutes. Good night. But I'll see you later.